All right, you guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode. And in today's video, we are filming here at one of the offices for the alarm company that I am partnered with, and that is Safe Streets Evo. Obviously wearing my ADT stuff right now. So this video is not a plug for all that, but I want to explain what I'm doing here in this setup. As you can see from my second camera, we obviously are in a different location. And in today's video, we are talking about something that is very business related, and that is none other than a potential purposeful, intentional recession that could be caused by President Donald J. Trump. Now, I have a couple reasons why I believe that we will most likely see some more pushes, some more negative pushes with the stock market over the next year going towards our 2020 election, and kind of how, if I were him, what I would do and kind of the way I think that he will be playing this in order to do two things, and that is stay tough on China and trade, but also keep the economy doing very well. And I know, call me crazy, but I want to explain to you what these ideas are, because I do believe if you can understand these things, you will be very profitable in these dips, so that you can dip buy and then also be able to ride that up and make a substantial amount of money, as most of his friends probably are doing right now. Let's talk about that today on Young Money Investments. All right, so today's video, I have written down a whole bunch of stuff, kind of basically titling this the Fake Recession built by Donald Trump. Now, I know what you're saying. You're kind of a conspiracy theorist, Cameron. That's crazy. Like, what are you talking about? I know, it doesn't seem like it is possible, but there are several key factors that I believe go into making a potential small or mild recession very plausible on and at the hands of Donald J. Trump. And so the first thing I think that's very interesting is there are purposes that Donald Trump has in order to potentially push the markets down. One of the big things that he has been a very big proponent of, and I want to talk about the things that he's been very positive on in his like political campaign, right? There's been several things. So first thing is lowering taxes, right? Trump has been very supportive and in favor of lowering taxes, and he has done very good at doing that ever since getting elected into the office a few years ago. Taxes and tax reform has happened quite a bit, and so I think he's done a pretty good job at accomplishing that. Next thing Trump has been very big on has been building a wall. Now, obviously building a wall is a very controversial topic, and I don't believe that really has been accomplished yet. He has not been able to build it. He's working on it really hard. That's still something to be seen if he can accomplish that. I personally believe he would need 2 terms in order to accomplish that as well, and that is why I believe he is really going to be jockeying to get to the point where he can obviously get in the office, stay in the office for a second term, and get that wall built. Third thing is he wants to have the strongest economy in the history of the United States. Yes, I am not trying to put icing on this or make it look pretty. The reality is Trump thinks he's the man. He thinks he's the man, and he wants to see the strongest U.S. economy ever. Now, I will say this: unemployment rates are extremely low. He is very proud of that. He's very proud of the fact that the Dow and the S&P 500 are near or at all-time highs in the history of the stock market. Those are all great things. He wants to leave his lasting legacy on this country as that he created those highest things. He, like I said, has the lowest unemployment rate. The stock market's really high. He also wants to be known as a tough negotiator. I mean, he was, the apprentice. He was proud of being "you're fired" guy, right? He wants to be known as the tough guy on China. Now, the only way that he can do that is through propping up the economy. And what do I mean by propping up the economy? The way Trump can prop up the economy is through using the Fed and lowering interest rates. Now you go, okay, so yeah, interest rates, lowering those are going to be good. Those help stimulate the economy. We saw when the interest rate dropped from 2.25% down to 2%, the economy and the stock market did well. So the Fed, and the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, has said that he is not trying to be political whatsoever. They will not be played as a political muse to Donald Trump. Now, you're probably going to ask me, do I believe that? Well, honestly and truly, I do believe that. I don't really like politics all that much, or I don't like the games that are played. Do I necessarily believe all the time, the things that the Federal Reserve are saying, the things that the president are saying, the things that Democrats are saying, and the House Speaker. No, honestly and truly, I don't believe a lot of the stuff that politicians say, because you know what? Oftentimes they're just saying what's best to keep them in office. And sadly, the reality is a lot of them say they're champions of the people, and really they're not. And so it is hard to believe, but I do believe that the Federal Reserve and the chairman of the Federal Reserve, their goal is to simply, politics aside, keep the economy going, keep this period of expansion, because ever since 2008, the recession that we have had an expansion. The global expansion has been good, with our economy really pumping things and being a big driver of that, along with China. We have seen these economies globally do very well. Now, while I do think that the Federal Reserve and the chairman of the Federal Reserve want to be as politically unbiased as possible, I think that politics do play a factor with this, and hear me out. Anytime that we have seen Trump come out with a tweet, we could probably see one right here. Anytime Trump has been hard on China, the market drops 600 points, 800 points. We are talking about massive drops. Anytime President Trump comes out and says that he is going to be much harder on China, this is obviously a sign that he can play with the economy very easy just by one simple tweet, you guys. One tweet. So what I believe is going to happen with Donald Trump is that he is going to continue over the next year, going into the 2020 election, which will happen in November of 2020. So we're coming up on just a little over a year until the election is going to happen. I think we are going to see several more pullbacks and kind of fights with China. Now, this is a channel where we talk about making money in the stock market, right? That's the reason you're here. The way that you are going to be able to make money in this is being able to buy the dips. And now, obviously, it is very scary to be buying the dips right now with the economy the way it is. We've been having a bull economy. We've had a very strong bull economy for almost a decade. Yeah, over a decade now. The thing is, and one of the crazy things is, I believe that these pullbacks that we are going to continue to experience going into a final trade deal with China are going to be fake outs. They are going to be fake out pullbacks that are really only going to be there so that Trump can get his overall agenda pushed into play. And that agenda is very simple. What Trump will do is he will continue to push the economy down so that it will look like a pseudo recession. It is going to look like the numbers are pulling back because of his negative trade talk with China. Now, what that will do is it will force the hand of the Federal Reserve, because again, they are going off of the numbers, not so much off of the politics. And they have said here at their recent conference in Jackson Hole, Wyoming over the weekend, that they are obviously not concerned about the economy, but what they are concerned about is the turmoil, the feud, the stuff that's going on with Trump and with China. So with that being said, what is going to happen is Donald Trump can easily play and force the hand of the Federal Reserve to start propping up the economy, doing things like maybe increasing inflation. It could do things like going, okay, let's drop the interest rates. Doing those kinds of things will then help stimulate the economy and kind of keep it propped up while he looks like he's mean, bashing, smashing on China. And then what happens? The man is going to create a deal with China. Now you're probably going, okay, Cameron, so he gets this deal with China. What's that going to mean for the economy? Well, let me tell you what that's going to mean for the economy. The economy is going to boom. The economy is going to be very happy. Everyone is going to be happy because this thing that has been clouding and kind of hanging as a negative cloud over the world really for the past couple years is going to finally be resolved. Now, Donald Trump is in theory agreed to a principal agreement with the Japanese in terms of a trade deal. Trump is a great negotiator. Now, whether you like him or hate him, he is good at negotiating and he knows the games. I see a lot of comments on YouTube where people go, oh, Trump's an idiot. Trump doesn't know what he's talking about. Trump is stupid. You guys, he became the president of the United States when no one thought that he could become the president of the United States. Donald Trump has been out-Trumping himself his entire career. Decades, longer than most of you have probably been around, longer than I've been around. And so to underestimate the man that is in the political office as high as the president of the United States would be stupid. So what I believe is that once he comes to an agreement with the Chinese, he is not only going to have lower interest rates, he's going to have printed a lot of money, and then the third thing that he is going to have done then is created this deal which will just boost the economy. What does that mean for his re-election state? Well, that means that everything is going to be looking hunky-dory. He's going to look like he is the champion of the people, that he negotiated a deal with an unnegotiable country in China. It's going to look like he has been able to get lower interest rates, more people have more money, blah, 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 blah. It's going to make him look really good, and people will not pull him out of office, especially all of his supporters from the previous election. They are going to be on his side. And then what's going to happen is, honestly and truly right now, there's not a strong Democratic candidate. There's no Democrat really right now that I can see that can really take on Donald Trump. So when you take that, you take into the account that there is a strong candidate in Donald Trump and a very weak candidate in the Democratic Party, I really don't see any of them really posing a massive threat. And then you throw on all the good news. Trump is a shoo-in for term number 2. So there you have it, you guys. That is really my take on everything, and this is why I think it is very important to stay cautious, to obviously do your own due diligence. I've been using a lot of charting to kind of chart things, but you can't get away from the fact that you need to pay attention to the tweets from Donald Trump, because those will make the markets go haywire. So if you want my financial take overall on what I plan on doing over the next year with the markets, I plan on, honestly and truly, dip buying a lot of these pullbacks. Now, it does take capital, it does take money, and this is something that, some of you would go, really? Are you going to start buying? Yeah, I'm going to start buying these dips. And honestly and truly, it's because I believe that this playbook that Trump has developed is going to come to fruition. I believe that it is going to happen. It is going to come true. Could I be wrong? Of course I could be wrong. But to me, that is the most logical explanation for the things that we have seen go on. And I believe that that's why we're going to see these things continue to play out over the next year as we go into the 2020 election. As always, you guys, if you did like this video, please hit the thumbs up button, please hit that subscribe button down below, and turn on the bell notification. That helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. It will get this video out to more people, and I hope you found it super interesting. I'm loving this. I'm loving getting to film all these crazy cool videos, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. We're going to have some other good ones about another reason. Yes, there is one more reason that I've not talked about for why Trump is doing these things, and the reason is because he wants to line his pockets and help his companies. I'm going to talk about all that in the next video. Hope you guys will watch it. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye, you guys.